The Ironman 70.3 World Championship kicked off on October 9th early in the morning. It was a cold, dark day, tough conditions, but a few degrees warmer than the day before for the women's race. Their favorites were here, and they were looking relatively relaxed and ready to race. The swim started off hot and fast as the strong swimmers looked to spread out the field and minimize the draft advantages for some of the slower athletes. And not too long into the swim, it looked like they had achieved just that. With a group of strong swimmers including Mark Dubrick, Aaron Royal, and Ben Canute leading the way. Like last year, Christian Blumenfeld had managed to hold on to those top swimmers, and Gustav Iden had just fallen off the pace and was in the second pack. The field was getting more spread out until one of the lead swimmers made an error at the front of the race and didn't turn correctly at the turn buoy. Clearly, the darker conditions didn't help their case, as the red buoy would have been hard to see against the red sky and the red rocks. Despite this, they managed to press on and still get a decent gap from some athletes. Christian Blumenfeld was 11th out of the water, 31 seconds down. Gustav Iden was 46 seconds off the pace, and Sam Long was 2 minutes and 45 seconds back. Aaron Royal and Mark Dubrick led the way, with Ben Canute just 13 seconds back. Eric Lagerstrom then led the second pack, 21 seconds down. Transition was busy, as many athletes were putting on extra layers for warmth. Some, like Christian Blumenfeld, opted to not put on any. Magnus Ditlev had the highlight moment in transition, forgetting his helmet and having to run back to get it. Ben Canute and Aaron Royal were up the road first, but it wasn't long before Christian Blumenfeld stormed up and pushed the pace. Frederick Funk was also straight to the front pack, and he managed to stay there for the whole race. Mickey Tagholt joined them as well. Gustav Iden, Magnus Ditlev, and Mike Canute were over a minute back from this front group. Sam Long had a mountain to climb ahead of him after his swim, but was moving well up through the ranks before his race was ruined. While passing many of the athletes Sam Long swam behind, he found himself in a chaotic situation and was given a drastic penalty for slotting in after a takeover. According to Ironman, he should have continued passing all the athletes in front of him. On the broadcast, it had appeared that it was because Jackson Laundrie had overtaken him during a pass, putting him in a lose-lose situation. But Ironman released a video saying that the penalty had occurred a minute or two prior. Either way, the 5-minute penalty put Sam out of contention for the race and caused a lot of controversy. Link to Ironman's statement in the description. Meanwhile, at the front, Funk and company were holding on to a strong pace, as Blumenfeld's lack of warm clothes meant he was pushing the pace hard at the front to stay warm. Magnus Ditlev managed to bridge the gap to the front of the race, saying afterwards that he had never biked this hard before in his life and made sure to bike hard enough not to bring Gustav Iden to the front with him. Gustav was slowly losing time to the front pack, now almost 2 minutes behind. The front group continued to push and had a significant lead coming into T2, ahead of the likes of Mickey Tagholt, Gustav Iden, and Mika Newt. Christian looked up for the win the whole race and stormed to the lead out of transition. Canute, Magnus, and Funk trailed behind. Seemingly out of nowhere, Ben Canute ran out in front of Christian Blumenfeld and looked like he was the one to challenge Christian for the title. Spurred on by the home crowd, he surged numerous times at the front of the race to try and lose Christian. Magnus was now starting to fall further behind, and it was definitely a two-horse race. Sam kept pressing on throughout the race and moved up the ranks, clearly demotivated after the penalty. Then, before the halfway mark of the run, Iden pulled out of the race. Unfortunately, we weren't able to see him challenge Christian in defense of his title. He might have been feeling Kona in his legs, unlike his compatriot who turned on the heat at the front of the race and dropped Ben Canute with around 5K left. He looked fantastic towards the end, high-fiving everyone along the way. Interestingly enough, Christian finished in the exact same time that Gustav Iden did last year, although it was a different course. 3 hours, 37 minutes, and 12 seconds. He barely looked tired at the end of the race as he waited for his competitors. That's good for him, as he's almost immediately back to short course racing. Ben Canute had a perfect day and took home a silver medal at the Ironman 70.3 World Champs, his second one. Magnus Ditlev had another great performance, taking third. Mika Newt came in fourth place, Frederick Funk came in fifth, and Mickey Tagholt with another great result, finishing in sixth place. But the spotlight for the day, again, went to Christian Blumenfeld. who was seen after the race coming back to the finish to thank all the volunteers who helped set up the amazing race at St. George. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. We're so close to 1,500, way surpassing the goal I set for myself when starting this channel at the beginning of the month. If you want to support me in making these videos, head over to buymeacoffee.com/thedailytry. One lucky supporter will receive a Morton starter pack courtesy of thefeed.com. We'll see you tomorrow in the next one.